every NFL season, you probably heard the same thing. Oh, the Browns are going to be good next year. Oh, the Browns are going to be good next year. Every single year, it feels like, people are claiming that the Cleveland Browns are finally going to turn it around. This year, though, it's different. When I tell you the Cleveland Browns are going to be good next season, the Cleveland Browns are going to be good next season. The Browns, they're going to win their division. They're probably the most talented team in that division other than the Steelers. But the difference between the Browns and the Steelers is the Browns ain't got any drama going on. The Browns, they got a young quarterback that's going to be a star in Baker Mayfield. While the Steelers, well, Big Ben should have retired 2 seasons ago. Now, if you just take a look at the Browns roster, they're stacked. I mean, Baker Mayfield, their quarterback, he's going to be a star. He's going to be really, really good in this league for a very, very, very long time. You could say whatever you want about his attitude. Like, he's cocky. You could hate him for that all you want. I don't care. I like it. I see it as confidence. To me, Baker Mayfield ain't cocky. He's confident. And rightfully so. I mean, people talk about players, that talk mess. Like, for example, Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has earned the right to talk mess because every week he goes out there and he performs. So, how does that make it different for Baker Mayfield? He goes out there, he puts up numbers, he leads his team to wins. Why can't Baker Mayfield do that? That is literally the only reason people hate Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield, he's going to be very good. He's going to be with Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be in that group of quarterbacks. They're going to be the future of the NFL. You could talk about, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. But those guys, they're not that impressive. Baker Mayfield, he's impressive. Okay, but it's not just Baker Mayfield, because sometimes a quarterback can't carry a team on his own. He needs some help. So you take a look at the Cleveland Browns roster. Let's start off in the backfield. They had Carlos Hyde. I didn't like him. They probably saw the same thing. He's not that impressive, so they traded him. Why? Well, because they had second round pick Nick Chubb backing up Carlos Hyde. And in my opinion, that was a mistake, having Chubb on the bench and starting Hyde, because Chubb is so much better than Carlos Hyde. So good thing they traded him. They got rid of him. So now Chubb is their starting running back, and rightfully so, because Chubb is going to be really good in this league for a long time. So not only last year did the Browns get Baker Mayfield, their franchise quarterback, they also got themselves a franchise running back in Chubb, and he's impressive. And for a rookie quarterback, or a young quarterback, having that running back that you can lean on, it's so important, and it makes life so much easier. So Chubb is, going to be really good for a very long time, along with Baker Mayfield. And they even have a receiving back in Duke Johnson. But to me, one of the most important things that the Browns have, they have a little safety blanket for Baker. After a running back, in my opinion, the second most important position for a young quarterback is a tight end. And the Browns have one of the better ones in the league, in my opinion. Someone that I was really, really, really high on, 2 years ago in the draft? I really wanted him, and that's David Njoku. Njoku, he's young. He's going to be very good for a very long time for the Cleveland Browns. You get the trend here. The Browns aren't going to be, this one-year wonder type of thing. The Browns are here to stay. The Steelers and the Ravens have been going back and forth for the AFC North for the longest time. Well, the Cleveland Browns are here to snatch it from them, and they're going to hold on to it for a very long time. That's what you're dealing with if you're an AFC North fan. Now, the offensive line, I do think it needs some help, but it's not terrible. Like the Browns' offensive line is not Houston Texans bad. It's, you can improve on it, but you don't really have to, because the Browns' O-line did improve late in the season after, Hugh Jackson got fired, after, during that whole win streak. Well, I wouldn't really call it a win streak. They lost 3 games, but I believe they went like 6-3 in the last 9 games, losing to the Ravens, Texans, and Chiefs, all playoff teams. So I do think that the O-line does need a little bit of help, but not a complete overhaul. Their interior O-line's fine. It's really just the tackles that could, use some fine-tuning. But if they choose not to, it's fine. I still think they can perform well with what they have. And then another guy they have, or 2 other guys they have out there, is Jarvis Landry, a sure-handed receiver that's reliable. And they have Callaway as well, who does have some drop issues, but I think he'll get through it. He's young. I mean, look at the Texans with Will Fuller. Will Fuller, his rookie year, he had the drop season, then, he ain't got him no more. So, that's definitely fixable. So, I do think the Browns, they're going to be here for a while, man. I'm definitely excited about the Browns, and you can probably tell. Now, if you flip over to the defense, got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, guess what? He's going to be very good for a very long time for the Cleveland Browns. They have Denzel Ward, who is also going to be very good for a very long time. And, of course, they do have some other key players on defense, like Jabril Peppers, I was pretty high on back then. What was the 2017 draft? Larry Ogunjobi, Christian Kirksey, off the top of my head, Joe Sherbert, and I'm not sure Jamie Collins has really done much for them, but he was a big name player back then, so he's kind of been there, done that type of guy. And the guy that they have that is, in my opinion, kind of overlooked, that I think the Browns need to utilize more. I don't know how he's performed, but I was also really high on this guy when he was coming out of college. I think he was a second-round pick for them. But that's Emmanuel Ogbah. I think him and Myles Garrett can be a deadly duo if they let him develop. I'm not sure how he's performed. I haven't really heard much of him, so I'm going to assume he hasn't really been out there much. But, I mean, seriously, just look at the Browns. Their roster's already stacked. And then you start to consider, okay, look at their cap space going into the offseason. They have almost $80 million in cap space to sign free agents. They're going to get better. They pretty much have all their draft picks except their 7th round pick. But they have other picks from other teams to make up for that. They have 2 picks in the 3rd round. The Browns, they're going to add talent through the draft. They're going to add talent through free agency. And they're just going to be a really good team. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what about the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers cap space? Well, the Ravens and Steelers, they both have under $25 million cap, so they're not going to make many moves. And then the Bengals, they have $50 million cap, but do you really trust that organization to get it right? I don't. I mean, they stuck with Marvin Lewis for 16 years. They finally fired him. Andy Dalton, he's nothing special. AJ Green stays hurt. That defense has holes everywhere. That offensive line is pretty bad. So I'm not really counting on the Bengals to challenge the Browns. I know people are going to say, well, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers are still there. Well, I mean, yeah, Le'Veon Bell, he's going to dip on them. And I understand, what's his name? James Conner and Jalen Samuels. They performed well while Le'Veon Bell was holding out. I understand that. So I don't think the Le'Veon Bell absence is going to really affect the Steelers much. But then you have Antonio Brown, stirring up all this drama. If you lose Antonio Brown, if you trade him or cut him for the Steelers, they're going to end up, not being so good on offense, because Antonio Brown is that offense. And trust me, I love Juju, but I'm not sure if Juju can be that number one receiver. I'm not sure he can be that guy yet. I have to see it first to believe it. And if they keep Antonio Brown, fine. Then they have a good player, but then they have this whole locker room drama type of thing. And Mike Tomlin, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated coaches in the NFL. The guy is the poster child for underachieving. I mean, seriously, with that roster he's had, he should have already won like 2 more Super Bowls. Big Ben should have been a 4-time Super Bowl champion. That roster has been stacked, yet they don't get anywhere. And then, of course, you got to start with the quarterback, Big Ben, like I said at the start of the video. The guy is old. He's washed up. I understand he probably had his best season this year if you look at yards, but the guy's been washed up for the past 2 seasons. Like, there's some games, whenever he plays a good defense, he just crumbles. And I started to see it whenever he threw those, 5 picks against the Jaguars? And he was even contemplating retirement after that. And I mean, at that point, in my opinion, I think he should have retired. Like, maybe not right then and there in that moment, but after the season. Because, in my opinion, Big Ben's nothing special. Next season, he's going to get older, he's going to be more washed up, and he's not going to be able to lead the Steelers past the divisional opponents. And I know, some people are going to throw out, what about the Ravens? Well, yeah, the Ravens got a good defense, and they've had a good defense for a while. Offensively, they ain't got any receivers. Their running backs are like, what in the world? I mean, seriously, what's his name? Buck Allen, he's trash. Alex Collins, not that impressive. Montgomery, Kenneth Dixon, not that impressive. Gus Edwards, he has some potential, but that's about it. And then you look at their quarterback, people are probably, all excited about Lamar Jackson, but let's be real, dude. Lamar Jackson cannot throw a football. The moment you stop that run game, the Ravens are nothing. And that's why next season, I am predicting the Ravens to be a terrible football team. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that guy. I don't think Lamar Jackson can fully develop into a capable quarterback. And that's the same way I feel like with Josh Allen. In my opinion, I'll take Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen any day of the week. But that's not really saying much because in my opinion, I think both of them are going to be busts in this league. I don't think Lamar Jackson is accurate enough consistently to, be a capable quarterback in the NFL. So I don't see the Ravens being dangerous next year. They'll probably be like a 6-10, 7-9 team. The Steelers, they'll hang around 7-9, 8-9, 9-7, something like that. But the Browns, they're a double-digit win team. That's what they are. They're going to be a very good team for a very long time. So if you're a Cleveland Browns fan watching this, I'm a Texans fan, and right now I'm telling you, and you probably already are, you should be excited about your future. If you're an AFC North fan watching this video, probably thinking I'm tripping, well, you'll see next season. And if you're one of my Texans fans watching this video, well, looks like we have a fun rivalry that's going to brew in the future between Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson. These two guys and Mahomes are the future. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.